so glad that you guys are here. Wow, Kitty is also really excited for Vlogmas, aren't you? She's like, no, let me down. I'm out of here. Songs so much. Alright. Coming up to the gym. But I wanted to do my Vlogmas first. So today's Vlogmas, I wanted to talk about, let's see, what should I talk about? There was a couple things that I thought I could do today. And I guess we'll discuss extracurriculars. So let's talk about extracurriculars for a moment. One of the things I got asked when I was interviewing for my current position was by a non-engineer. It was a lady who's a planner for us, and she tends to think outside the box a little bit more than engineers, so I don't know that I would consider this a typical interview question, but she'd asked me, what books are you reading in your free time? And it's a very interesting question, especially me coming out of grad school, and all of my free time was basically spent reading the exact same stuff that I needed to read for my thesis and for my classes, because you just don't have free time in grad school. So my free time, when I did get time off and wasn't, working on grad school stuff, I didn't typically want to read because I read so much all of the time. I wanted to just relax, maybe read fan fiction or something, but mostly work on my hobbies, my projects, my extracurriculars, But I thought it was a very interesting question, and I was able to come up with an answer because I had just read a book about water sustainability. And I'm not quite sure she was actually wanting an answer that had to do with that was a fiction book. I think she was wanting to know, what are you reading in your free time, and how do you relate that to your career and and your hobbies, and you've chosen this career, a very specific career, and how do you relate that to what your other things that interest you. So yeah, I wanted to talk about spending time to dive into your career and what you enjoy doing with your extracurriculars, and that could be volunteering. Maybe you're into doing public service and you want to volunteer at a pet shelter, or volunteer at, clean the stream, or somewhere outdoorsy, or maybe it's a food pantry, or something that kind of relates to what you do and you can find fulfillment in, but is also being out there in the community and helping in the community. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is, what media do you spend time thinking about and listening to and watching. So there's a lot of podcasts out there that are business related. There's podcasts that are politics related or news related. I listen to a lot of Spanish podcasts, and some of it is just the news in Spanish. So Buenos Dias, which is Good Morning America. And I listen to a design podcast, 99% Invisible, which in the past year has been less design and more just storytelling, more just reporting. I listen to Sawbones, which is a medical history podcast, which is very interesting. I listen to lots of podcasts, lots of audiobooks, mostly because if I'm driving or I'm doing something that is work related, I won't necessarily have time to sit down and read, but I can listen to it at like a really fast speed, and I get through a lot of books that way. So I have extracurriculars that even if they're not about engineering or about what I do, they are helping to grow me professionally. Even the medical history podcast, I might not use medical history ever in my career, but as I'm sitting around the lunch table and we're having a meeting at work, I could reference it or say something about it and get everybody talking about that. And yeah, it's useful for me in my professional life, and it's not just sitting there watching TV or if I'm watching TV, I choose a whole variety of things. Maybe it's comedy, or maybe it's sci-fi or Doctor Who or something. And so I'm able to relate more to other people because I take in such a wide range of different types of media and different topics and themes. So that's my advice for today, is even when you're doing stuff for fun, figure out how you can relate it to your professional life, or how you can use it in your professional life and your social life. And a lot of being a professional is being a social person and interacting with a whole wide variety of personalities. And I think that if you're always in tune to how you can relate to others, that it'll go really far in the workplace, in a STEM workplace especially. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna go hit the gym and then probably work a little bit on my blog this afternoon. I've been asked by ASCE if I will write a piece on transparency for their new younger members portal, which is coming out on January 2nd, I think. January 2nd. So they've asked if I'll write a piece to kind of kick it off, which it's not often that people ask me to write a piece, especially for free, but I really enjoy ASCE, and they've done a lot of supporting me, and so I want to sit down and put some effort into it. And transparency is obviously something that I care a lot about, especially within the engineering industry, which isn't always as transparent as some of the other industries, and gets a little bit of a rep of being a boys' club, and it can be, but we can also change it, and we can use transparency to help change it. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Bye.